Alright, welcome to this segment where we'll be taking a look at Okay, we're taking a look at the nation, what's happening across the country. I mean, the 2015 elections are around the corner, but a lot of things are sort of mixing up. Politics, the economy, education, security. Well, these are some of the things we'll be looking at today. Even though the politicians are trying to draw the attentions of Nigerians and the electorate from the things that bother them to electing the next leaders, Nigerians seem to be focused on earning a living, putting food on their table, sending their children to school, and staying secure. Well, we have some commentators in the house today that will be speaking about this. We have a building Shomi, a social commentator, as he says with a slant. Welcome. Zakabala, a social commentator as well, is in the studios. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good morning, listeners.
And Dr. Pt.2 here is a political analyst, a senior lecturer at the University of Lagos, also with a slant.
Good morning. We shall see your slants are tilting in a short while.
So let's begin with him. Interesting time in Nigeria, you might say, but how would you describe the state of the nation now?
Well, anytime you have national elections coming up, anytime you have a government that has been in power for 2 terms, you will have a lot of tension. I believe in any democracy in the world. Therefore, these are very, very trying times. That is to say, for now. But if you look at the past, we've had problems for years now, particularly the instability in the country, some parts of the country particularly. So these are difficult times, certainly.
Bala, you are not a politician. I recognize that.
Correct.
But Tokumbo certainly is a politician. To you, do you think that the issue of politics is the most important issue facing us now in light of daily bombings, people starving, the price of oil is dropping every day? We don't know where we're going to be in a few months if this drop continues, because the rate is very dramatic. All that is happening, and people are posturing, and the most important thing to our politicians is the elections of 2015.
Well, the issue of politics in Nigeria today is an index, not a positive index. What I can tell you is this: the politics of Nigeria today is very, very clumsy and is adding to the confusion that we are going through. Nigeria has been under a litmus test, I can tell you, and the preliminary results are definitely not looking good. The only thing that probably appears to be rising or increasing in Nigeria has been the population. We were once probably 110, 130, now 170 allegedly. Then once you now carry out what we call a ratio analysis of all macroeconomic positive indices, you just notice that everything is nosediving. What do I mean by that? Population. Exactly, apart from population. So carry out the ratio analysis and you will see. Carry out the ratio of health care, good health care, to 170 million. It's not rising, it's going down. Carry out the ratio of employment to 170 million. It's going down. Look at infrastructural development versus 170 million. Look at the number of decent graduates that we are churning out of our universities versus 170 million. Everything is what? Going down. There is nothing wrong if somebody can say Nigeria has reached the crossroad. But you see, when you reach a crossroad, either of two things must happen. You are either seeing yourself in between hope and despair, between holding on and breaking down, giving up, between hope and dying. Nigeria is there. But fortunately or unfortunately, we are now in a democratic dispensation. And the only thing that will bring us out of the woods is inclusive democracy. As long as we continue to practice this democracy of exclusion, this democracy of emasculation and vengeance, we will just continue to widen the positive opportunities that will bring Nigeria out of the woods.
Democracy of vengeance, emasculation. Is that what you see?
Because politics, we practice politics of exclusion, politics of vengeance and emasculation. But what we need is democracy of total inclusion.
Yeah, I can relate to some of what Bala is saying, depending on how you want to look at it. If you situate it in economic terms, in terms of the impact of our politics, on our people, we begin to see, when Bala probably in my view is referring to, issues like the geographical disparity in income and living standards. If I'm allowed to quote the latest CFR, Council for Foreign Relations figures on disparity in terms of the privation and unemployment in Nigeria. The North generally has about 73% unemployment and poverty ratio compared to the South, generally Southeast and South-South with 37% and Southwest 27%. We built a country where we do not have meaningful development in all sectors of the country. Therefore, we embark on a policy which in some cases will lead to growth in some parts, and in other places it will lead to decline in growth, or it will not accelerate growth. And therefore, we are building problems for the future. If you take into account, for instance, the issue of Boko Haram, people say it's Islamic. I don't see what is Islamist in it, even though the leader, Mohammed Yusuf and Chekau belongs to the Salafist tradition, which is the doctrine that believes in jihad. But when you look at the composition of most of the soldiers, they are largely deprived youths who do not see any future. They have no hope in the economy, and they are largely bunch of Hamajiris, the very, very poor people, and also unemployed graduates. So if we don't create a country where there can be meaningful, development in all parts of the country, we are bound to begin to have problems. And that is why the system is quaking heavily, which Bala refers to as a crossroad. Nigeria is at a crossroad. We are at a junction where if care is not taken, something can give. We pray not. But how do we go through 2015 elections, with all the tensions in the land and with all the rivalry amongst between the political parties, the major political parties, jostling for political power. So, and with the security problems we're faced with, decline in revenue from oil, and hardly do we have any corresponding development in other sectors that will make up for loss of income. What then will happen in 2015, which remains to be seen.